Hey guys, it's Phoenix Automotive here again. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Ford Fusion unit. Now this is for Ford Fusion manual and auto AC. It's for a 13.6-inch unit and it does retain your factory sync. And we can show that right here because we do have the sync with us, and this is your factory sync module. Now if your factory sync has CarPlay, you don't need to purchase a built-in CarPlay with our unit. With that said, looking at the back of the unit, there's a couple things you need to note. If you have an auto AC unit, this is a auto AC unit, you need to move the factory board onto the back of our unit and have this connector to put inside. So put your factory board with those connectors. You can see there's holes in it to put your factory board in, and it does come off, and you do have to screw it on the cover piece. If yours is manual AC, you won't have to remove the factory AC board. It'll already have connections at the bottom for your air conditioning. Now for Sync 1 units, it's going to be empty like this. No need to connect anything. With Sync 2 units, it's going to look like this F-150 where you have this connector right here that you remove, and you're going to be moving this module over to the back of the unit. If you have Sync 3, which is what this is, we have a Sync 3 module here that you need to remove and put it on, screw it onto the back of the unit, connect the LVDS cable. We provide you a longer cable, and it connects right here, and you're gonna get a harness that looks like this. So you're gonna connect to here, and then this is your car connection and connect it to here. So auto AC, you need to move the factory AC board. Manual AC, there's less work to do, you just plug and play. This is a 13.6-inch unit. It retains your factory sync like you've seen here. Now let's look on to the connections. So with Sync 1 units, you're going to be getting two things, this main harness and this connector for your factory backup camera. So factory backup camera, connect this connection. It should be behind that 4-inch screen, will be a connector that looks like this. And this male RCA, you're going to connect it to the RCA female that's labeled reversing video in. So make that connection. And you do have a 2-prong connector here, also a 2-prong connector here. This does not need to be connected, so leave this alone. And you have other RCAs on this harness. Let's go through them. We have a RCA female that's yellow, labeled DVR CVBS. So you can put a video source in here, and you can go here on the top, scroll left and right to the DVR app. So anything you put in this yellow RCA will show up on the DVR application, which is up here. The other one is an Aux V, 2 orange ones. The other orange one is not labeled, but the Aux V are both the same. You can put a video source in here. And Aux V will be the AUX app at the top. If you go to the apps here at the top, then here on the left side we'll have AUX. And this is where your video feed that you put in here will show here. Now if you have a car and a yellow triangle, you have to check if you're setting inside settings, check if brake detect is off. So go into settings at the top. On the left side is user settings. Then at the way bottom, there should be brake detect. If you have brake detect on, it's going to be disabled. So your video will be disabled like so. You can see that. So you need to have brake detect as off in order to see video feed on that screen. So brake detect off. And if I go back to AUX, you can see that it's now black. So those are the RCAs you have on this harness. You also have this 2-prong again that does not need to be connected. And you have a 3.5 jack for an external microphone. We do provide you an external microphone, but our unit has its own built-in microphone, which is right here, MIC. And there's one that's labeled RST where you can press with the paperclip to reset the unit. So this built-in microphone, personally, I think it's pretty good. You still have access to your factory microphone, but things that work on the unit will go through this microphone. So I don't recommend using an external microphone unless you really want to use this and put it somewhere closer to your voice. The other two connections are here. Is a white connector for a red box. Connect the red box. And speaking of the red box, you can see that there's 2 wires, a red and white wire for audio. So if you plan on putting a video source into the AUX RCA and you want audio source, you have to splice into these 2 wires, make them into a female RCA. We do have an article on how we do that, and it will be in the description below, or let us know and we can send that article to you. This main connector at the top will connect to the top of the unit. You could see here, and that connection's right here. And the last but not least are these two T-harness connectors. So for Sync 1, you need to actually remove your CD player, and behind it there's two connections. These two connections you're going to make are right here and right here, and then connect your factory back into this part right here. Now with all Fusion vehicles, you need to remove the CD player and put it back into the car. The reason you need to remove it is because we provide you mounting clips, or we provide you mounting plates so that you can fit this CD player back in more so that our unit can fit over top of it. So all Fusions, you need to remove this CD player, either make the two connections at the back here and put the mounting plate. For Sync 1, you have to make these two connections. Now moving on to Sync 2 and 3. Now I did mention we give you mounting plates. You also need to remove these things right here in order for this CD player to fit fully in. Otherwise it'll get blocked off. So make sure you remove these pieces as well. It's just regular Phillips screwdrivers. For Sync 2 and 3, you're going to be getting a harness that looks kind of like this. It's less cumbersome than the Sync 1 connectors, but it's almost the same in terms of you just need to connect the sync module into here. So this is a Sync 3 unit. You just need to connect the sync module and connect this back to your factory connector. After you've done that, you can connect this white connector to the top of the unit, which is right here. And again, you have that sync module screwed onto the back. Make sure you have the LVDS cable hooked up to it, which is like so. And again, the RCAs are the same. You have AUX, two orange ones. You have the DVR for the DVR app, and you have a reversing video in RCA. Now for Sync 2 and 3, you do not need to use this RCA. This is mainly for Sync 1. However, if your factory backup camera on Sync 2 and 3 don't work, you can put an aftermarket to this. That way when you go on reverse, it will show this video feed. But you do need to change in the settings of the car settings to set it so that it knows to recognize this video feed. We'll show you that later in this video for car type. You also have a mic input for an external mic, and all these wires are not needed. We can go over them one by one. So you have two of these two prongs. These are not needed. They're just for testing. You have a red and orange wire and a gray wire that are not labeled, so not needed. And you have an orange wire labeled camera control. This is not needed as well. You can take a multimeter to see if there's any power if you want to use it for power, but check with the multimeter. And again, you have this white connector that you need to connect the red box to. And again, you have the red and white wire for the audio left and right, and that's if you want to use the AUX port for video and you want to have sound coming out for that video. The next thing we provide is this long LVDS cable. Mentioned that earlier before. The factory one is short, so we provide you a longer one so that you can make the connection from the sync module like so all the way to the top right here. You can see here there's also a screw-on for a GPS antenna. Now this GPS antenna will look like this. However, it's not going to be a blue connector. It's going to be a screw-on that you screw on there. Now this GPS antenna is needed. Your factory GPS is retained. And what I mean by that is if you go into console, this factory GPS is retained. But if you want to use something like Google Maps in the apps folder, if you want to use Google Maps, it's going to be using this GPS signal. It's not going to be using your factory GPS. So this does need to be connected, and it is a screw-on at the back of the unit. The other thing we have are a USB cable and a small speaker. The small speaker is for navigation volume like Google Maps, going left and right, turn left, turn right. And this gets power from the USB cable. The USB cable has this two-prong connector that you're going to make that connection here. And this white connector will connect at the top next to the main connector here. So it goes in there. These two USB ports, there's no particular place to put them. Just route them somewhere you have access to. You are going to be using this for built-in CarPlay. So if you have built-in CarPlay, you just plug your phone to one of the USB ports and you can go to the Car Auto app. If I press Car Auto, it will open up the Zlink, and this is for built-in CarPlay. Now, if you did not purchase the add-on for built-in CarPlay and later on you want to get CarPlay, you can purchase the CarPlay dongle. And that dongle is like a white box or a black box depending on which option you choose. and you connect it to the USB port. You're not going to be using the Zlink app for the CarPlay dongle. What you need to do is you need to download and install Car Auto Kit. And we'll have a description below to that video on how to use your CarPlay dongle. So just to run it by again, built-in CarPlay uses Zlink. If you did not purchase built-in CarPlay and you got the CarPlay dongle, which is also comes in regular CarPlay dongle or wireless CarPlay dongle, you need to download the AutoKit app. The next thing to check is, now that you've made the correct hookup, see if your AC controls work, see if your backup camera works. Now we're going to go through the car settings to show you how to set it up, just to make sure you're on the correct settings. So with Sync 1 vehicles, you're going to be going into Settings. On the left side, scroll down to Install Set 666888. And then in the car type, we're going to be choosing for the Fusion is Mondeo L for the Sync 1. Now this is for Sync 1 manual AC vehicles. You also do have Sync 1 auto AC vehicles. So Sync 1 manual AC, anytime you have a manual AC vehicle, you're going to be choosing L for low. Protocol should be XIN-BASI. Car info should be S1 manual because we are a Sync 3 manual vehicle. Press on the picture so that it check marks the box, and you can press OK. After you press OK, you can press the back button, and then you can press Save and Reboot. Now if your vehicle is a Sync 1 unit, you got to make sure your reversing video format is on CVBS for Sync 1 vehicles. So right now this is the setting for Sync 1 manual. Set it to Mondeo L. Make sure the car info is on S1 manual and the reversing video format is on CVBS. Now let's move on to Sync 1 Auto. So if you have a Sync 1 and it's Auto AC, we're going to be going to car type again. We're going to choose Mondeo H because we have automatic air conditioning. How you tell if you have automatic air conditioning? One of the knobs will show auto on it. It'll have a writing that says auto. Protocol is the same, Shinbasi. Car info we're going to choose is S1 Auto. We're going to set the logo settings to boot logo. Press the picture so it has a check mark. Press OK. Then we can press the back button. And because Sync 1 Auto, we're still going to be choosing CVBS as the car reversing video format. Save and reboot and see if everything works, your air conditioning and your backup camera. The next setting is if you have S2, Sync 2, and it's Auto AC. We're going to go into car type again, Mondeo H because we are automatic AC, and car info we're going to choose as S2 Auto. If yours is a Sync 3 unit, we're going to be choosing S3 Auto if yours is Sync 3 Auto AC. So in this case, S2 Auto, check mark the box, Protocol Shinbasi, press OK. Press back again so that you can get to that other screen, and make sure that your reversing video format for Sync 2 and 3 vehicles should be VGA. Now you can do a save and reboot. Now if it doesn't work after a save and reboot, when it boots up again, we recommend pressing the RST button with the paper clip just so that it fully reboots and resets itself. The next option is S3 Auto. So if you have Sync 3 and yours is Auto AC, choose Mondeo H. Car info, choose S3 Auto. Now the other option is maybe you have Sync 3, it's Auto AC, you have an 8-inch screen from the factory. The other one is a 4-inch screen. So now that we've set it to Sync 3 Auto and your vehicle is a factory 8-inch, the next setting we can check is for Sync 3 4-inch screen. So if your vehicle is a Fusion, you have a Sync 3 module and it's a 4-inch screen, a smaller factory screen, you're going to be going to car type, setting it to Mondeo L, and in the car info. So now we've gone through Sync 1, 2, and 3 units. Sync 1 you'll have either auto or manual AC. So again, auto needs to be on H, manual needs to be on L. 2 and 3 you're always going to be on H because majority of the time it is auto. For Sync 2 and 3, make sure your video format is VGA. Sync 1, make sure it's CVBS. The next thing to check is if we go into console and this factory UI, say you touch on the bottom right and it controls somewhere else, maybe the touch calibration is not the most accurate, there is a setting for that. So if the touch is not accurate, you need to go into settings, then on the left side into install set. At the way bottom, there is original car central control touch origin. You just got to toggle this negative or positive for your console to be calibrated right on the touch. With a Sync 1 unit, it's a little bit different. You're going to be going to console, and you need to go into settings and choose, it'll be like a SXM, and then there'll be a gear icon. Press that gear icon, then scroll to the way bottom. There should be a sync system. You got to set that to sync system 1. Maybe you have to set it to sync system 0, but sync system 1 is the correct one for Sync 1 units. But the best rule of thumb is to either change that Sync 1 system to Sync 0 or Sync 1, depending on how your touch controls. With Sync 2 and 3 vehicles, if the touch control on the console is not accurate, go to settings, then on the left side install set. At the way bottom, the passcode is 666-888-3638. At the way bottom, original car central control touch origin. Just need to toggle this positive or negative so that your console screen is correct on the touch accuracy. For Sync 1 units, it's a little different. This UI is a little different, but here will be like SXM, then there'll be a gear icon. Press on that gear icon, scroll to the way bottom, and then you should have a sync system. You either have to set that to sync system 0 or sync system 1. Now, a couple instances you might have is maybe it doesn't find a radio reception or the radio is not working well on that UI. So set it to 1 or 0 and see which one works better. If you have any other questions, just let us know. Give us a call. Our number is 323-917-9038. And let us know your order number. That way we can determine what car, what vehicle you have, and what unit you have. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for future content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.